Answer me this in the comments below. What do you think are the best weapons in every class on Warzone? My loadouts are always changing because the devs are always switching things up with how the weapons feel in Warzone, but there have been a couple of weapons that have always stayed consistent when it comes to which weapons are mostly picked by everyone, so it got me thinking, which weapons are the best weapons of their class for each class? And that's what I want to discuss in today's video. So if you like this video and you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a thumbs up on it, and subscribe if you want to come back and see more of my stuff. But for now, let's get into which weapons I think are top of their respective classes. For the assault rifle class, I had a bit of a hard time deciding whether the FFAR should be classed as an assault rifle or an SMG, since the FFAR can outgun a lot of SMGs, but everyone is using it as a short to medium range SMG assault rifle hybrid because of the insane TTK. However, the stats for the FFAR lead me to believe it's an assault rifle, so that's where I'm gonna place it. Damn, these Cold War weapons are confusing. So my pick for the assault rifles was a toss-up between the AMAX and the FFAR, but because of the insane TTK at short to medium ranges, I have to give it to the FFAR here, despite the crazy recoil at longer ranges. And here's the setup for it, but right now the AMAX has to be a notable mention. Next, we'll take a look at the pistols, and really, there's only one choice here, the Diamatti. Even after the nerf recently for the hipfire, this weapon is still a dominant floor loot for a reason. And if you're wanting your ghost loadout instead of overkill, the Diamatti is a solid secondary choice. Unless you're doing solos, then you're gonna need a Strela. So anyway, here's the setup that you'll want for the Diamatti. For the SMGs then, feel free to use the FFAR as an SMG, but since that's not classed as an SMG, there was a bit of deliberation in my mind about this one between the Bullfrog, which is statistically better at close range, and the MAC-10. But I'm gonna have to give it to the MAC-10 because of the amazing range it has for an SMG. The better movement speed, the recoil, and all of that other good stuff. The MAC-10 is the go-to if you're not running an FFAR, so here's the setup for that. Now we're gonna have a go with the sniper rifles, and to be honest, there are two very good choices here. You've got the HDR and the Tundra. But I do think the Tundra has the edge on the HDR, even if it is a very small edge. I made a video about this not so long ago, hint hint, wink face. The HDR is loved by a lot of people because it's an absolute heavyweight, but statistically the Tundra is a bit better with its high fire rate, better bullet velocity, and it's a really easy gun to learn to use. If you can master this gun, you're going to be popping those heads like it's going out of style, so here's the best setup for that one. So that leads me nicely into the Marksman rifles, and this one's gonna come down to your own opinion really. A lot of people debate this subject, but in my own personal opinion, I think the SPR is better than the Kar98. If you prefer the Kar98, more power to you, keep popping those headshots, but in terms of the stats, the SPR has the edge, and to be honest, I just find the SPR easier and more stable to use. If you haven't used the Kar98, give it a go and see how that feels. And if you haven't used the SPR, take that out for a spin, you might actually be surprised. So here's the setup for that one. The shotguns then, the Gallo is probably the most OP shotgun right now, although we aren't seeing too many people running the shotguns in their loadout at the minute, probably because of the FFAR MAC-10 meta. But if you are running a shotgun, I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. How are you doing with your shotgun when it comes up against the FFAR or MAC-10? Real world usage sometimes speaks louder than statistical analysis. But anyway, here's the setup for the Gallo. For the LMGs, we do seem to have a wide variety of viable LMGs at the moment. It's a good time to be an LMG right now. But I have to give it to the PKM at the moment. That long range dominant and very little recoil gives this gun a massive advantage over the others, including the Bruen. Even though the Bruen is still a hot ticket item, but the PKM takes the top spot, and here's how you'd set that one up. And last but by no means least, we've got the most dominant class in Warzone right now, the tactical rifles. Thank the Warzone gods that I'm not showcasing the DMR right now, but instead it's the Aug. Now the Aug and the M16 have ridiculously similar stats, but the Aug for medium to long range Since there's no damage drop off, it's the most OP weapon in this game. If you can fill your opponent's heads with bullets, they're down in 1 to 2 bursts. This thing hits like an absolute freight train, but for short range it's a bit unyielding, so you're going to want the SMG or the FFAR for those close encounters. And here's how you're going to set up the AUG. As you can see, we've got quite a few options for loadouts when it comes to weapon choices, which is a good thing in my opinion. Let's hope that continues into the coming seasons. I'm really looking forward to the new SMG that's coming from Modern Warfare. I managed to find it once in the loot crates, and let me tell you, this thing is going to be all anyone's using until it gets a nerf. And it will get a nerf. It's completely OP when I was using it from that loot crate. Anyways, that'll do for today. If you liked this video or found it useful, hit that like button. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Toodaloo!